lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Hi everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and in this video we're going to take a drive down Broad Street, the famous long thoroughfare that stretches all the way from South Philadelphia to North Philadelphia, and you're going to see some of the historic buildings along the way. Now I want to make sure you understand that I'm not just out joyriding. I am in my car, and I'm only leaving my house once a week. That's to take packages to the post office, to drop them off. I have labels already printed, so all I have to do is literally pull up, dump them into a big rolling cart that they now have for special drop-off. I don't even get out of the car, basically. So it's very safe. And then I go to the grocery store if I need to, but I have enough stuff to keep me going for 30 days. So I just want to say that to make sure everybody knows, hey, I'm staying in just like you are. We have to here in the Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area, going out, as I said, only to the post office once a week. But while I was driving home, I decided to go up Broad Street and show you some of the old buildings, old hotels and that kind of thing, City Hall. So that's what you're about to see. So stay tuned for that. Then you're going to have another glimpse of the steamship SS United States. You're going to see that. And then I was digging through trying to find... The University of the Arts is on the left, one of the University of the Arts buildings. And the Kimmel Center for the Performing Arts on the left. You can clearly see City Hall in front of us. Also, coming up on the left is, we're in the theater district now. On the left is the old Forest Theater, now known as the Miriam Theater. And next to that, the home of the Philadelphia Orchestra, the building with the gas lights out front and the red bricks. We're passing it now on the left. That's the Academy of Music in Philadelphia. The Bellevue Hotel on our left. Probably the most expensive and elegant hotel in the city. The City Hall building in front of us, we just see the tower of it. It's actually the largest municipal building in the United States. It took 30 years to build it. The French style there, the Second Empire style. Oh, by the way, hold on. Look on your left. See what looks like a grand old mansion with the mansard roof? We just passed it. That's the old Union League. I may come back and give you a better shot of that. But it took so long to build City Hall, it was out of style by the time that Empire style, which was hot in the 1870s, when this building was opened just after 1900, it was considered out of style. Now we're going around Penn Square here. That is the Wanamaker building in front of us, which I have taken you inside. Remember, it houses the largest functioning pipe organ in the world, just on the left. What looks like a church right in front of us is the back end of the Masonic Temple. Still extremely active here in this city, and boy, you ought to see the inside of that. It is absolutely amazing. Now, I would normally be turning right here and continuing north on Broad Street to a few blocks up to where my home is, but what I've decided to do is just take you around the block. We're going completely around City Hall now. Way in the distance ahead, which looks like a Greek temple, it's very low if you're looking closer to the horizon. That's the 30th Street Station, and that's actually on the other side of the Schuylkill River, which you cannot see. Philadelphia has two rivers as its east and west border, the Delaware River on the east and the Schuylkill River on the west. We're now on the west side of City Hall, the financial district. and you're going to see similar. We're going all the way, we're forming a full square. We're going around City Hall, which is Penn Square, an entire city block right in smack dab in the center. You see what we've done? So again, there's the Wanamaker building right in front of us, City Hall on the left. It's a little after 1 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, and I tell you one thing, you can certainly see that there's no traffic. We wouldn't be able to swing through here as quickly as we did. Wonderful Art Deco building to the straight ahead and to the right, the old Market Street National Bank. I don't know if you can catch some of the colored tiles that are on the perimeter of the what would be the above the lobby of the bank when it was a functioning bank. Okay, this time I am going to turn right on Broad Street because I'm ready to go home. Masonic Temple once again. And we have to stop here, but I will be turning right back onto North Broad Street. So again, looking straight ahead, that would be the business district, the financial district. But you can also see, if you look to the right, there is an Art Deco building, and that you might be able to make out Pennsylvania Railroad. That's the suburban station, and that's where we go to catch all of the suburban trains underground, taking us to the suburbs of Philadelphia and the very famous, what we've all heard of, the Main Line, if you remember the film, The Philadelphia Story. Okay, we're back on North Broad Street. That's Arch Street United Methodist Church to the right, which is having a lot of work done on its steeple. The Convention Center is on the right, and you've seen me talk about the building on the left, which is the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, PAFA, the oldest arts school in the country. Founded, I think, in 1803. There's a hospital building on the left, a parking garage, and then in front of that, the old Inquirer building. That building is also affectionately called the Wedding Cake. When you can really take a good look at it, it resembles a wedding cake. And they're currently the newspaper. Well, the Bulletin is no longer in business. The Philadelphia Inquirer has moved out of that building. They're now on Market Street. And that building is being restored for future use. And we can see it's got scaffolding in front of it. That, if you've noticed, sometimes when I take pictures from my window, I look out on that tower. I see the clock, and the bell up there does gong every 15 minutes. It's got a nice deep resonant gong, and it's nice to hear it inside the house. Even with the windows closed, I can still faintly hear it. Sorry that all you're looking at right now is an ugly parking garage, but you might catch over the van, the windows of the PGW van in front of us, beautiful architecture on a building. That's the old Packard. You've heard of the Packard automobiles? That was a showroom for Packard automobiles, a fancy automobile in the 1920s. It's now loft apartments. And then another massive building with Art Deco tiles at the top. On the right, in sort of a yellowish color brick. That was built in 1930. Okay, I need to stop running my lips and pay attention to what I'm doing, because I'm getting ready to make a right-hand turn to get where I would like to be. The building on the left is being converted to condos as well, and that, I believe they call that the international style. That was built in the 50s, and quite a modern design. Okay, let's make a right-hand turn. You'll see just the top of the Jewish synagogue, Beth El Shalom, I think is what it's called. I'm stuck behind a SEPTA bus. This is the public bus at the moment. But you may be able to see the subway entrance on the right. A gentleman is getting ready to walk down the subway steps right now. Nope, he's stopped, so I don't know if you can see that or not. And the synagogue has the crane just behind it. Turning onto Spring Garden Street, this would be considered the northern boundary of Center City, just north of Chinatown. Well, here's a site you've seen before. This is the SS United States ocean liner, and it's moored, as you can see here, in it is sitting in the Delaware River. I'm in South Philadelphia. You can't see any water, but you can certainly see the mooring ropes that have it here in the dock, and it's been sitting here for quite some time. I think I showed you this a while ago. It's kind of sad to see it rusting away. This famous ship holds the transatlantic speed crossing record in both directions. In fact, it still holds that record today, and it's the largest cruise ship, transatlantic cruise ship, classic ship that was ever built here in the United States. You can read all about it if you would like to. But what jogged my memory, well, I see this ship all the time. I drive by it frequently because I come down here to go to the post office. But a subscriber wrote to me and said that she has memories of being on the ship. I don't remember her name, but I did enjoy reading her email. The ship was planned in 1949 and then built in 1950 and 51, designed by American Navy ship architect William Francis Gibbs, I believe is his name. And it was in service from 1951 until I think 1969. And it's really amazing that it's still standing or floating. It's been bought and sold several times, and nothing has ever come of that, sadly. It's kind of windy out here today, so I apologize if there is noise from the wind and from the traffic. That's always amplified on these little cell phone cameras. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I particularly like at the top of the stacks, it almost looks like she's wearing backwards baseball caps, baseball hats. We'll zoom in on her and let you have a better look. This is Delaware Avenue. I'm standing on the other side. And we're looking at the bow of the ship. Of course, you can't see the stern because it's covered by the truck there and whatever that structure is. This is a very industrial section of South Philadelphia where the docks are, and lots of remainders of old factories and whatnot. But there she is. If you'd like to know more history, please do the reading. It is a fascinating history. There's lots of photographs. The interior was beautiful when she was new. Okay, it's very chilly out here. I'm gonna jump back in the car. I'm shivering. And now I was digging back into my video archive, and I found some footage of the Wanamaker organ that I recorded this previous summer. Now, as I was driving around City Hall, I mentioned a building called the Wanamaker Building. That's the old John Wanamaker department store here in Philadelphia. And as you know, inside is the largest pipe organ in the world. I've shown you that before, especially around Christmas time. Well, I found some old footage that I filmed, as I said, last summer, and I'm going to show you that now. The first thing you'll see is the historic plaque that talks about the organ. I'm standing down below. Then you'll look up and you'll see the restored facade. They regilded the pipes. it's just absolutely stunning. And I have to tell you that the sound of the organ in this video is nothing like actually being there and feeling it. You actually feel the music in your bones. It reverberates through your rib cage. And I'm not being overly dramatic about it. Those of you who have heard that organ in person and been there, you know. But anyway, so I'm filming the organ, and then he begins to play what I recognize as Finlandia by the Finnish composer Jean Sibelius. And there is a beautiful melody in Finlandia that was adapted to a hymn that we sing in the Methodist Church and many other Protestant churches all around the world. And that hymn is called Be Still My Soul. It's a very well-known hymn and a very well-known melody by the classical composer Jean Sibelius. And I love that hymn. It's one of my favorite hymns. And so as soon as I recognized the piece, Finlandia, I ran up to the third floor, got as close to the pipes as I could. You're going to see that, okay? And there is a division of pipes called the vox humana, which means a human voice. And these pipes are just absolutely stunning. And while I was up there listening and filming, someone else was standing next to me, and we were both just like, we were speechless, and you'll kind of hear us talking a little bit. But you'll hear the familiar melody, Be still my soul, the Lord is on thy side, bear patiently the cross of grief or pain. Okay, those are the words that's the text to the hymn. You may not know that, but you may recognize Be Still My Soul. And it was just stunningly beautiful. I hope that you will think it is stunningly beautiful as well. And please, if you don't know that hymn, when you hear the melody, go and look it up. I've got my Methodist hymnal right here, and I don't have all of the words to Be Still My Soul memorized, but I want to read to you the second stanza, the second verse, which is my favorite from Be Still My Soul, because it's very meaningful for the time that we're in. And these are the words. Be still my soul, thy God doth undertake to guide the future as he has the past. Thy hope, thy confidence, let nothing shake. I love that. All now mysterious shall be bright at last. Be still my soul, the waves and wind still know his voice who ruled them while he dwelt below. Okay, that's the second stanza, verse of the hymn, Be Still My Soul. Think about those words as you hear this beautiful vox humana string division in this organ. Now you'll know it if you know the melody, but you'll also know it when the film changes from me being very distant to right up close to the facade. And you'll be able to look, you can see the decorative fretwork, and then behind it are the pipes. And you'll hear this beautiful melody. Okay, so enough of that. Back to the beautiful Wanamaker organ.
Vox Humana, that's the stop.